Hello, my name is Josh, and this is the Skype for Business recap. We are in the final day or days before Microsoft Ignite kicks off in Orlando. It is Friday, September 22nd, and the events of Ignite officially kick off on Sunday. Technically speaking, I know most people think the conference is, Monday through Friday, and that's where all the main sessions. That's true, but there are some pre-game sessions and things, if you will, taking place on Sunday. So. Many of you are already en route or have left or have already arrived in Orlando. You're getting an early jump on it. Twitter is filled with tons of packing and getting ready for Ignite type of statuses. And those that aren't going to be making it to Ignite are trying to feverishly plan out the perfect viewing schedule from a remote desktop somewhere else. So it is a frenzy right now. There is a lot going on, a lot of last minute details being wrapped up. Consequently, today's recap is going to involve a large amount of things that we expect to see at Ignite or things that have been announced and will probably be viewed at Ignite, things like that. So let's go ahead and jump over to content now and get this last recap before Ignite well underway. There's our Infinity screen. And here we go. So, first thing on the Proficient blog, proficient.com, blogs.proficient.com, Office 365, Microsoft Teams, and dial-in conferencing preview. You did hear me and read that correctly. This was not a big announcement. There was not a whole bunch of fanfare surrounding it. But it does appear that it apparently was not a mistake or anything slipped out too early. Microsoft hasn't yanked back this ability. I verified it this morning after seeing several other people post about it on Twitter, and indeed, this is the case. When you go and create a meeting in Teams with a user that is licensed for PSTN Conferencing and Skype for Business online, then creating the meeting, you don't exactly see the dial-in information, but once the meeting is created, the meeting info is populated, the details are populated with your dial-in conferencing information. And if we look at the first screenshot in this blog here, that's exactly what we see. Join Microsoft Teams meeting, can't join online, join by phone. We've got the toll number listed there. If you need a local number, that you click on this page to go get one. You can also reset your PIN if you've forgotten it. It gives you the conference ID. And then join by phone, this is what they say down here, and this is the important part. Join by phone is available as a public preview feature. Guests need to switch to their guest accounts to join this meeting. That's just one more piece added to the invite stuff there. So it says it looks like Teams is using the dial-in conferencing information that's assigned to them as Skype for Business. Correct. Here we see when we're creating the meeting, the actual dial-in conferencing information is not there, but when the meeting is created, it's in the details. And as we go further down, if we click on that link, we can get conferencing numbers from various countries over here. And then a link over here to reset your PIN. You need to sign in to reset the PIN. There's a screenshot of what that looks like for resetting the PIN for dial-in conferencing. Now this is still branded as Skype for Business settings up here, but if we go back up here, we see this page is branded as Microsoft Teams. Pretty cool stuff happening here. More and more Skype for Business-y features seem to be making their way into Microsoft Teams, it would seem. And there we go. So a couple other things are pointed out as you go through this blog post. I'll let you read the details to kind of see what that stuff is. Of course, if you want to read this for yourself and take your time with it, I'm going to include the link in the YouTube video description down there so that you can go and check this out yourself. But very exciting thing to start kicking the tires with if you are already playing in your Microsoft Teams tenant already and have Skype for Business Online, PSTN Conferencing. This is a cool thing to start testing out and trying. Great way to kind of expand on the Teams meeting experience. Cool. All right. Next up, from the DM Unified blog, this is Damian Margaritis. Damian, I know I've messed up your name before, and I'm doing it again. So, maybe I'll get a chance to, if you're going to be at Ignite, I can apologize in person this time or something. But great blog post here covering Polycom's recent announcement of the new Trio 8500 conferencing device. Now, as you read through this, you're going to get some background information on the 8800 and a little bit more info there. Here's where we get to the meat of 8500. Slightly more petite than the Trio 8800, the Trio 8500 is built with a similar aesthetic to the 8500. He goes through to describe it and cover it in some details, gives us some really nice screenshots. This one here, secured USB cable, great move, he says. That's one of the new additions there. And then we have the 8800 on the left and the 8500 on the right. So we can see very similar, but just slightly different size. This is the part that I like here. All the features and capabilities broken down between the 8800 and then the 8500. A whole bunch of these things are the same, but when we start getting down to like video content, we notice that stuff is not really in the 8500. However, the one thing that the 8500 has on the 8800 doesn't is the secure USB tethering. Pretty cool. Dual Ethernet ports, though, you do not have that on the 8500. So very good write-up on this new device. I assume that the Polycom booth at Ignite will have an 8500 or two to look and play and touch and all that good stuff. It should be. They always have a pretty decent display of their devices there, so I can't imagine the 8500 won't be sitting amongst them this time. So if this interests you, make your way over to their booth at Ignite and check that out. Next up, an announcement from Audio Codes here out on the PR Newswire site. The Audio Codes provided this information about their new 445 HD IP phone for Microsoft 365. Now, here are the highlights. Read this first line very carefully. Audio Codes 445 HD is an advanced IP phone with high definition voice experience from Microsoft 365, including Skype for Business and Microsoft Teams. So, interesting stuff there. As we read down the different points, there's some really good specs on the phone and all those things you can read about here. Again, in regards to Ignite, this is kind of what I wanted to point out. If you're going to be there at the Audio Codes booth, they are going to be demonstrating the new 445 HD model along with the management capabilities and voice styling. So when we talk about management capabilities, we look up here to this bullet point right above it. Audio Codes One Voice Operations Center is a centralized network and device management solution that empowers IT managers to perform complete lifecycle management for all Audio Codes IP phones. So I'll let you go ahead and read the rest of this news announcement here. There's several little bits about it and information on Audio Codes and all that stuff. So you can read that on your own. But check that out if you're going to be at Ignite. Another thing to check out. And yeah, that's it for devices. However, something else that's going to be demoed at Ignite from Landis Technologies, they're going to be showing the attendant console for Microsoft Phone System, which if you weren't paying attention, this was what Cloud PBX is being rebranded to as Phone System at Microsoft Ignite 2017. They're going to be presenting Attendant Pro for Office 365 Phone System at booth number 1456. Attendant Pro, of course, they give information about Attendant Pro and what it is and certification and all that kind of stuff. But stop by their booth to get the first sneak peek, the first peek at Attendant Pro for Microsoft Teams, the first attendant console designed specifically for Microsoft Teams. The below is not a screenshot of what will be demonstrated. Features and user experience will only be demonstrated after the keynote. So, yeah, good booth, good place to stop by, especially if you already use this product and you're starting to contemplate the move to Teams, but are wondering about the repercussions here and all that good stuff. Check this out. All right, go to first, like he points out, you're going to want to watch these sessions down here and pay attention to keynotes and all that stuff. But stop by their booth afterwards if you want to get a demo of what Attendant Console is going to look like there. Okay. Following up on that, speaking of Landis Technologies, Matt Landis, Office Servers and Services MVP, Most of you know he is a very prolific blogger and tweeter during conferences. He gets a lot of information out there, and usually in short, digestible amounts. Every conference that I've been following anyway, he has a blog post, a running blog post that has this little format going on here of broken down by days, what he's going to be doing at Ignite, other information you can expect, etc. So this might be a blog that you want to bookmark and watch while you're there. Matt's going to be covering a lot of what's going on, of course, from his angle as well, but a good resource to follow. In addition to paying attention and following what I'm saying from Ignite as well, of course. But check that blog post out and bookmark it. Last but not least, this is where I get to do a little bit of a shameless self plug. Well, sort of self plug, self plus a couple others. The Skype for Business and Vision for Unified Communications podcast. This is going to be from the Skype for Business product team. This broadcast is now hosted by Delonda Coleman over at Microsoft from the product team. And on Wednesday, Wednesday, September 27th at 1 p.m., this is going to be a live broadcast. I'll give you this link, but this is the link to the YouTube live broadcast that is scheduled for 5 days from now. You'll be able to come here and watch it. This is going to be kind of covering Microsoft's UC Communications vision following all the announcements previous in the week. Delonda is going to be joined by two guests. One is a name you guys may have heard of before. Jamie Stark will be joining her to kind of talk about some of these things. And then I have the humble pleasure of being able to join the two of them as a guest as well on the show. So if you don't have anything else scheduled during this time, or even if you do, bookmark this, put it on your calendar, and tune in to watch the Skype broadcast on Wednesday, September 27th at 1 p.m. Delonda Coleman, Jamie Stark, and myself will be on the show discussing what's already been announced and what this might mean for the community at large. So, good stuff. Looking forward to doing this with the team. It is going to be a whirlwind of a conference. I can feel that already. So, back over to the main screen. That's all I've got for today. Everybody else, be safe in your travels to Ignite. Be smart in your preps and all that. Looking forward to what's ahead of us this coming week, and I hope you all do well surviving the craziness that will ensue with trying to catch every session and trying to hit every place you want to on the floor and trying to make this and that. It's very hard to pack it all in. So we'll see how the week unfolds. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show or found it useful in preparing for Ignite, please feel free to retweet or share it. And we will see you guys throughout the week this coming week. Thank you. Adios.